Looking for a GIS department? Yeah. Do you guys have one? You're a cop. Where do you go for your jurisdiction? How do you determine what's private property and public property? Don't you guys use maps? Or do you have like your internal patrol maps? Like that in your vehicle? Okay, so there's that covered. In terms of what you offer on your website, you do offer an online GIS program. Do you know what the department is that offers that map?
I have no idea. The IT department will handle all the computer stuff.
Okay. Okay. We're from Fort Collins. The GIS department was on the 3rd floor of their municipal building. It was very easy to get to. So I figured it's got to be the right department. Okay, sweet. Until I can get over there, possibly if I can't get the right people on time, I'm just trying to cover all my bases here. We're right here, so it's a good example. There's the 9400 and Sheridan. If you recall, there's like a Walmart there, there's a Payless, Valero. That particular drive that is on the north side of Payless there, that's butting up against that concrete wall there, that's private property. That's a private drive, and it's not maintained by the city in any way, shape, or form that you know of. Okay.
The curb edge right there, because we've had this discussion before. You're with a religious group.
Yeah. So
if you want to go and,
I mean, I could even step out technically if someone did have something to offer because it's a private drive.
well, they can ask you to leave and they can cite you for trespassing.
Oh, okay. I meant the people side, but the cars that are there, since that's not really a road, if I did happen to step out because someone was offering something, then that's all private property. It doesn't really matter, according to your solicitation statute.
According to law.
Because the definition of a road, that's not qualifying, right?
Depending on what it is, you're going to be cited if the owner wants to.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So as far as I know, the only statutes that are applicable are ones that are private property, trespassing related, like no skateboarding if I tell you no, that kind of thing. But in terms of soliciting,
Technically, we'd have to have a complaint, which would be the owner of that property or the tenant of that property.
oh, okay. So in that case,
Taylor could complain, Starbucks could complain, Walmart could complain, Best Buy could complain.
exactly, it's kind of their area.
Since they pay for that private property.
Okay, that
no
makes sense.
parking lot, and that's thoroughfare through their way. They could have police respond, site.
Yeah. So in this case, when I say the word soliciting, it's like you're just doing whatever they don't want. They have to come out and tell you a warning. It doesn't matter.
They don't have to tell you one. They can eat you with trespassing right away.
I thought you had to have a formal warning. So if you're skateboarding, they can't get you on trespassing just for like being a skateboarder in their area.
They have to immediately, you still there?
Exactly. So that would be the formal warning. And so, but what I'm trying to get at is the word soliciting doesn't really mean anything specific. It's just like you're doing something that they don't want you to do on their private property. Versus what I noticed in your guys' law books was a solicitation statute, 941, that applies to public roads, so forth and so on. That doesn't apply to private property that you know.
I will tell you this, that the legal department is relooking at the solicitation altogether, citywide private property, public property.
Oh, yeah.
There's a big thing because of the First Amendment rights and stuff like that. So there is a big narrowing factor that's going to come down on that.
Okay.
I don't know what it's going to be or what it's not going to be, but you of course read what it currently is at this time.
Yeah, so from what I can gather, correct me if I'm wrong, it's just says street or highway. That's all public roads involving public right-of-ways and so forth, and that would not be applicable. What I'm trying to get at is no one would ticket me if I did happen to step out onto that private drive. I don't want to be ticketed. I also want to be able to accept help because that's part of the church, you know. And so,
there's other stuff that you can be cited for because of.
Oh yeah. This is all contingent. I'm working on the permission of them.
There's traffic violations you can be cited for within some of that stuff because there's some traffic code that applies to private property.
Like obstruction, for instance,
Well,
with that.
well, that's not traffic. You'd have, pedestrian in the roadway. Roadway is a very broad term. If you're doing stuff in a roadway, which also can be considered, a roadway can be considered a parking lot for vehicle traffic. So there's
But like how far back, I mean, because that's exactly what I've been trying to figure out was how far back on a private drive does the jurisdiction fall away that it's no longer policeable because it's some private drive?
the traffic code that applies to private driveway. You get involved in a private apartment, traffic accident, private.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, okay. But the soliciting statute would not apply to private drives unless it's specified.
If you're walking out into traffic.
Well, see, that's where I'm really starting to get confused, is that, say that private drive, you know how it goes in and then it kind of splits off and goes along to Best Buy and stuff like that. If someone was on that private drive, that's even less maintained by the city, it's even less part of an intersection, but it's still the same exact private drive. And if that's the case, are you still not allowed to step out on that private drive? There's no difference between that and
Traffic and stuff like that, that's what I'm saying. If you go out, you obstruct the flow of traffic, even private drive, entering a public roadway, there's certain things.
But you said public roadway just there, so it's kind of, you're going back to the
You're going from
public
private
side.
drive to public roadway, so you're disturbing the flow of traffic.
That's okay.
Hey. Okay.
Mary, the she's
Okay.
once you have her on a leash, it's very easy, but she's not leashed anymore.
You know when he's coming in?
We've been leaving her to 18 and just.
Oh, he's dropping them repeating everything.
So.
Oh, saying, what's this guy's name?
No. She's a owner surrender. She's the one who.
Okay. Yep. Thank you, bud. Okay.
Okay, so traffic aside, because I'll just have to deal with that one day at a time. As far as the solicitation statute, it says the vehicle traveling on a road or a highway, and how far does that road go into a private drive is what I'm trying to figure out. Is if I could be stepping out, not
For the get out of jail free statement, and I'm not going to give that to you.
Well, yeah. I'm just trying to figure
I'm not
out.
gonna give you legal advice. That's what the lawyer.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm trying to figure out where, because it's contradictory. You so far have created a contradiction now, because you say public drive and then you say private drive.
Well, I'm
So,
saying you have a public roadway, which is Sheridan Boulevard. You have
Okay.
a private drive that's going out onto Sheridan Boulevard. So when you restrict the flow of traffic on a private drive going out onto a public drive, now you've caused an issue.
okay. But according to
Traffic
this,
code, there's other codes that say you can't do that. You can't step out in front of vehicles. You can't go out into the flow of traffic. So that's up for you to determine
Yeah.
what it is and take that risk, and for us to come out and deal with it depending on the property owner and depending on the complaints that you can get from vehicles.
true. But I guess I'm trying to not have to do it the hard way. Like,
I'll tell you the easy way. Don't do it in Westminster.
see, that's where I have a problem, because I know that it's not illegal outright to do things. And so that seems like a very 14th Amendment due process violation for everyone. Because when you say private drives,
Due process, it's a First Amendment right.
no, the due process right would be basically ratifying a law that is written for a public road, and now you're applying it to a private road. Because the definition of a road is something that's public. And the definition of traffic is stuff that you deal with on a public road. So I'm going off your municipal codes. So traffic-wise, I think insurance, I've heard that you can get an insurance claim on a private drive when you hit somebody, but that you can't actually get a traffic infraction, because
Yeah.
what's the road that you would put for the name of the road that they're on?
It'd be listed on the traffic accident form.
But I mean, the road would...
Road, private parking lot, private property. However, there are certain violations, like I'm telling you, unsafe backing, careless driving.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that kind of stuff on a private drive, you can still get a ticket, DUI.
Okay. Is there anywhere on private property that's not a drive that somebody can step out and walk onto pavement or asphalt? Or you know how there's parking lots next to the Walmart there?
Solicit?
Yeah.
Is there?
Well, the whole point is that if a private drive is a road, how does that private drive turn into a parking lot when it's all private property? It's all paved the same. There's no
I
differentiation.
don't know, that's what a lawyer for. I don't know, that's what I'm telling you.
Well, keep in mind, what I'm trying to figure out is that you guys may not know your laws, and then I might have to exercise my rights, and then you guys may actually end up writing tickets that don't have the probable cause necessary for you to protect yourselves in court, and then you might actually end up losing your trial in court, and then I have to do all your hard work, and I'm not going to do it for free. And so that's why, if you say you'll ticket someone, well, let's put it this way: if you say you'll ticket someone on that private drive for soliciting.
I didn't say that. I'm gonna look at the totality of the circumstances.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at everything that's in conjunction. I'm gonna look at everything as a police officer that you may or may not have done. And if you're blocking the flow of traffic and you're doing other stuff like that, well, it's like you leave the sidewalk and you walk across traffic against them having a green light to enter that intersection from a private drive. I'm going to cite you a ticket for being out in the roadway when you're not supposed to be out in the roadway.
But that would be applicable to that ticket. You would have the probable cause for stepping out of the roadway.
Yeah, but if you're out there soliciting, you're blocking the flow of traffic. See, there's a whole bunch of certain situations that we could throw. The light could be red, could be yellow, could be green.
Well, keep in mind, you're saying light according to a public road. That it's a private drive. If they wanted to shut down their traffic there, then they could. It's nothing. The city has no control over that. And so when you say private drive, how much jurisdiction does one really have? I'm trying to not get a solicitation ticket that is not capable of being gotten on private property. Here's the thing. I'll just be straight up with you guys. I called in a panhandler, whatever, on that private drive, right in front of that concrete, planter box, whatever, just, on the other side of Payless right there. They said that person would not be ticketed because they're on a private drive and it's not maintained by the city for purposes of solicitation, 941. That's what they said to me.
Who told you that?
That was a sergeant. The dispatch said the sergeant. I don't know which sergeant. I can dig up the paperwork. But a superior officer said they would look into it personally. Drove by it. Said that person was a-okay. They're on private property.
And they may have been. If we didn't have a complaint from a property owner or leaser. Property. So as soon as they complain, and they go out there and ask you to move, and they don't move, and they're still panhandling. Then they get a ticket for solicitation, the complainant being the property owner.
But that's the thing, is that I asked specifically if the person would get a solicitation ticket for standing there, regardless of private property or first warning.
On that one, they'll probably only get a trespass ticket if they were asked to leave.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Private property,
what I've already told you is
on its side.
Solicitation laws are being rewritten, they're being relooked at, so we don't have people like you coming in and asking these questions. So it's clear and concise. So if you do this, then this. So they're looking at from a legal means.
Yeah. Well, so I guess the way I would put it is from a argument perspective that has nothing to do with private property or a first formal warning and then trespassing if you continue, so forth and so on. I had just simply called to see if that officer or anybody officer would issue a citation for soliciting according to 941. And I was told specifically that nobody would be ticketed there because it's a private drive. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, to be honest with you, is because this is actually kind of a sting. Earlier this year, Officer Sains and Officer Perez picked me up for holding a sign on that corner, not stepping out, not doing anything. I got acquitted because obviously I didn't do anything to violate the statute, but because I refused to show my ID, they said they had reasonable suspicion that I might step out. Keep in mind, I'm being told that I might step out onto what they think is a public road, or at least the officer said that it was a private drive that was maintained by the city.
Again,
So,
depending on where you were, depending on if you're on the corner and it's showing and a reasonable person believes that you're soliciting on Sheridan Boulevard.
But keep in mind, holding a sign isn't soliciting.
That call?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to start an internal investigation by getting consistent answers. And so far, you've proven my case that you guys lawyer up and you don't really know how to kind of call the police on yourselves. And so that's why I called up and I got the straight answer, but then I didn't get the straight answer in court. So what I'm trying to say is your judge is dirty, and you don't have any protections.
Go figure it out. I'm just telling you that I'm going to look at the totality of the circumstances. I'm going to base my opinion on any complaints of what's going on, and I'm going to make a judgment call at that point.
Yep.
At that point, I may or may not issue a ticket. I
Yep.
may or may not make an arrest. I may or may not just tell you to simply leave.
Yep.
Again, I'm going to look at everything, because there's so many variables out there that I just can't come up with a clear, I don't have a matrix.
Yeah, but that sounds to me like it's difficult for a reasonable person to get their own probable cause then. Sounds to me like it's vague, and if you guys have trouble with defining a road versus a private drive of whether you would ticket someone or not.
I know what the road.
So,
there's so many other things that play into it.
But-
You're not getting out.
but the whole point is that the statute said road, and in your municipal code, road is defined by a public way. There's no definition of a private drive inside road, and if that's what your conclusion is, that's what I'm saying is illegal, and that's why the judge convicted me
You know
illegal.
what? Get it overturned and make it change our law.
I appealed to a different county that you guys told me to. You screwed my due process rights up. Yeah, I appealed to a different county because you told me to, and the other county accepted it, Jefferson County, because this happened in Jefferson County, and they accepted it, and then later told me they couldn't. So I got screwed on my due process rights. So now I'm taking you guys to human trafficking international crimes court.
Welcome to the criminal justice system.
Oh my gosh, sir.
I'm just telling you. I'm not the judges. I'm not.
Would you ticket someone for holding a sign on that corner? Holding a sign, just holding a sign, not soliciting, anything like that. Just holding a sign.
I wouldn't.
That's what I got. I got a ticket for holding a sign, not even soliciting. And you guys' definition isn't even correct. You think holding a sign is soliciting. We've already caught other cops thinking that. So when you go like this, good. I'm glad you guys are working on your solicitation statute. It sounds like it's shit, and you guys know it. I'm really sorry, sir. It's not even toward you. It's toward other people. You don't know your laws!